Divas. Welcome to Q Weekly. This evening, first cab off the rank is the Zanny and the unusual Fruit Loops, Fruit Box and Fruit Loops. I hope the letters will entertain you, and I'm sure you get a laugh too.
Hello and welcome to this week's Fruit Box. I'm Kim Vassallo, and joining me on the show this afternoon is the delightful Trevor Forever here on my left.
Kim.
Hi, Trevor. Well, I think we've spoken about this before, Trevor.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, thank you.
I'm happy to be here though.
Oh, good. And with Trevor is Vic Berry from the Everywhere, as usual, are the Bent TV and the Gay Men's Health Clinic and the VAC, and where's anywhere else, Vic? I'll get it right one day, won't I?
Enjoy Melbourne.
And of course, yes.
Yeah, that's enough.
And on the other side of me today we have Mark Porter in a rather flary shirt there, Mark, and showing a bit of hair, but I think too much. And that's enough, Chris. I'll be sick. And Chris Gill, of course, from the Victorian Gay and Lesbian Rights Lobby. Welcome.
Go team.
Chris. And we are going to deal with two letters this week. The first is from JJ. And JJ doesn't particularly like us, I don't think. JJ says, I've listened to your crap for a few weeks now. Where do you get off by thinking you can give advice to others? I have met a few of you in the past and can honestly say from those meetings that your lives do not appear to be any better than anybody else's. So, I want to know how you can sit there and give advice to viewers when you guys can't even get your own lives together. Talk about hypocrites. Well, guys.
Well, look, I've got something for JJ. And look, JJ, if you really had met me and knew me at all, you'd know exactly where I get off. And as to the advice, some people say that free advice is worth every cent you pay for it, and if that's how you feel, then spend as much as you like. That's all.
Thank you. Chris, anyone else like to add to that?
Yeah, I think that you sound like a clever fellow, actually, and you sound like someone who's got a bit of experience and probably has a bit of good advice yourself. That's true. Doesn't say male or female. All right, whoever you are, how about coming on the show? We have a spare seat, so why don't you come on the show and give some advice yourself? An invitation. Dare you?
JJ, if you're a lady, please email us again with your address, and I certainly would like to talk to you about this issue about not having fulfilled lives, and sometimes that is a concern for me, but certainly I think if we can really get together, we could really talk about this, and if I could just even watch you for a while, that would be enough.
Mark, have you got anything more to add?
Well, I must have missed the memo on being perfect and knowing everything there is to know about everything. But I think we're a group of people that professionally are qualified to comment on different areas, and even experientially we've experienced a lot of different things. I don't think any of us profess to have our lives together.
Oh, sorry, I've experienced a lot of things.
Of course.
Unfortunately, sorry.
But I think everybody has something positive to offer, and if you don't, piss off.
Right, so the general consensus, JJ, is to tell someone who cares, I think. And that's going to take us right through to our next question. Who? This is an interesting one for one of our panel members. Dear Fruitbox and Mark, great show. Really enjoying it. But can I have Mark's phone number? Please. We met a few weeks back and I thought we made a connection. You never called. Would love to connect with you again. Thanks heaps. Mick from 80. So Mark, tell us about Mick from 80.
Well, thanks, Mick. I had a really good time too. Thanks for that. But my housemate's trying to clean up my image a bit and wash my jeans and your number. So is the other panellists here. But yeah, get in touch with us at Fruitbox and we'll see what we can do.
Anyone would...
I'm wondering, Mark, actually, if you remember Mick. Yeah, and so my concern is really that you don't know who Mick is.
Could be one of three.
Well, that
three
sort
Micks.
of shortens, narrows the list down
Is that all
slightly.
from Club 80?
That's all in one night.
Oh, okay.
That was easy, love, isn't it? 3 Micks, and then you just don't have to worry about whether you get their name right.
No problem.
Really, do you?
Listen, Mick,
Yeah.
if you have a sister, actually, and you could contact me at Mr. Trevor Forever at AOL.com, and I'd be happy to respond in any manner whatsoever. But of course, ladies only, please, no men's, just the ladies. But I like to take this back to you, Mark, again, actually, because I'm a very specific man. I always remember the ladies, and I find it a little bit disconcerting, really, that you forget them.
The ladies?
Oh, the men.
I try to.
The men, because I know you sort of like the men's and everything, and I like the ladies, nothing against the men lovers, but certainly I think it's important to remember them.
For sure.
Don't you feel that uncomfortable? Sometimes catching a tram or something, if someone comes up to you and you're completely blank about where you know them from, and they only left your place like half an hour ago.
Never happened to me.
Right.
Well,
If any of our viewers are like Mark, generous with their affections in the dark, and worried that perhaps some of the recipients of their affection lose track of them, they should get a website.
a website. Mick,
And a Google search, and they're anyone's.
With photos, you reckon?
I could be anyone's.
well, I think, Mick, what you need to do now is send us some more details so Mark remembers who you are. A photo would be good of
even
your
just-
face.
even just a
of
dirty
course,
T-shirt.
because we couldn't show anything else.
I won't remember his face.
Oh, okay.
What about a rating? A rating
and
out of 10?
The top of his head or
Look,
Pair of dirty underpants?
and I think we need to know something about you other than your face and other bits, and we need to know what job you do, what vehicle you drive, how much money you have in the bank, property, your goals, and whether you're marriage material. Okay? Send all that in and we'll consider it.
And also, Mick, thank you for your interest in the position.
And yes, thanks, Mick. You can write to us, and Mark, if you would like to, or Trevor, for those lovely ladies out there. Though why the straight women? No, they're going to be straight, don't they, Trevor?
Oh,
you got
definitely.
fussy.
No, the ladies. Any ladies? preferably.
Any ladies that would like to maybe go out sometime with the gorgeous Trevor, please contact us
Please,
here.
please,
Thank you.
really please.
And you can do that by emailing us at benttv@bigpond.au or posting your letters to PO Box 6256 St Kilda Road, Melbourne 8008. And I think that's it for this week's box, and we will see you soon. And it's back to the studio. Thank you.
Back to Q Weekly. Gosh, they were a funny lot, weren't they? Well, now I've got our next segment, which is Lavender Lens, and Alan Duncan is producing and directing this, and I'm sure Stephen is also working on this segment for your enjoyment.
Here we are again with another edition of Through the Lavender Lens in Q Weekly, and this week we're looking at a film I like very much, actually. What's it called?
It's called, well, if you pronounce it the German way, Wessler, but we call it Wessler.
It is indeed German. It's one of only two East German gay films, certainly that I'm aware of. We'll talk about the other one in a few weeks' time, maybe. But they actually come from the Soviet sort of era of East Germany and all the trials and tribulations that gay people had to put up with under that regime.
Yes, this was actually set in 1985. Director's Wieland Speck. He's a very good director. Now, 1985, this is just before the wall came down between the two Germanys.
Yeah, it's the year Gorbachev got into power, just to put it in historical perspective.
Yes, so. And what the story does is it shows how a West German boy who's got an American friend staying with him takes his American friend to East Berlin to show him what the East is like. And while he's there, he catches the eye of a nice, good-looking East German boy. And the story really goes from there, how their relationship develops, but how they also cope with the relationship, because basically they are living in two separate countries. And every time that Felix, the character from the West, gets on the underground train to go to see Thomas, he has to go through passport control.
Yeah.
And he can only stay until about midnight, because then his visa expires and he has to get back home into the west part of the city.
And they get a bit paranoid and suspicious about why he's going over so often, don't they?
That's right. There is one scene where he actually gets a strip search because they'll be like why he keeps going over to the east so frequently.
Amazing.
Yes.
Ich muss gehen. Musst du wohl.
Ja, ich glaube.
Yeah, I liked a lot of the footage early on, particularly in the film, filmed around East Berlin, because I believe a lot of that was filmed on Super 8, sort of in secret, wasn't it?
It was, and you'll notice there's no soundtrack for those parts. The reason being that the communist government didn't allow you to film.
No.
So they had to do that subversively. So any outside shots which are in the eastern part of Berlin, you'll find there's no sound, and it was done on Super 8, so the quality's
rather grainy,
lower.
but fascinating footage though. So, directed by Wieland Speck, Wessler. It's available from Out Video, our very own gay video store here in Melbourne.
That's right, they're on Brighton Road, directly opposite St Kilda Town Hall.
So I believe the film is available for rent on VHS or to buy on DVD. So check it out. The videos we've presented for you tonight are available from Melbourne's own Out Video. Come and visit us in person at 13 Brighton Road, St Kilda, right opposite St Kilda Town Hall, or on the web at www.out.com.au.
Welcome back to Q Weekly. This evening we've got three gals from the committee of the Matrix Guild. Many of you out there may have been wondering, what does Matrix stand for, and what does Matrix, the guild itself, actually do for the lesbian community? Well, tonight we're going to find out. And Gail, I wanted to ask you, when did the Matrix Guild actually start?
It started about 10 years ago when a group of older women, older lesbians, got together concerned about what would happen to older lesbians as they got older, and they wanted to think about those issues and see what could be done. We originally started off thinking of building a nursing home for
That's ambitious.
older lesbians. But since then we've branched out, and now we have our own worker, and we do fundraisers, and we're gradually getting towards our goal.
And not to forget the wonderful Lillian, who we know so well, her tireless work in organising those wonderful dances we all attend. Could you tell me more about the work that you do within the Matrix Guild, Lillian?
Well, I work raising funds for Matrix so that they can achieve the goals that they've set themselves. It is a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun, and I mean, I get to personally meet, well, Satin and Silk this year, 571 lesbians, all under the one roof, which was just an amazing night.
Yes, it was, yeah.
Last Saturday night we had the Denim and Leather. We thought Satin and Silk is very dressed up. We have it at the San Remo Ballroom, and it's an event. We thought we need something to come down a little bit, so we had the Denim and Leather to punk up, get down and have a really good time.
Yeah, they certainly did.
It was a minimum audience of 350 last
very
weekend,
good.
which was extremely successful.
Right. Jane, your role within the Matrix is a many-fold role,
Yes,
I
it
believe.
is.
Would you like to let us know about that?
Well, I've been employed by Matrix for about 2 or 3 months now, since somewhere around March, and I think it is manifold, many-faceted, the jobs that I'm doing for Matrix. Apart from promotion of the organisation, which means doing things like this program. I'm also representing Matrix in conferences and in meetings, and moving around and letting people know what Matrix is doing, generally giving it a more profile. Networking's a big part of that, but it's also really beneficial for some of the things that we're looking at as specific projects. One of them is working in with Also, the organisation Also. At the moment they're looking at a pilot scheme to address homosexual, and of course we're looking at the lesbian side of it, home care issues for the aged. And this is something that, home care is something that's one of the core things that I'll be working towards addressing. And that involves lesbian sensitive components within training programs for personal care attendants. And this working in with Also and the pilot program is very exciting. And if anybody's interested in being part of that, they could contact Also and look at some of the things that are happening at the moment with public consultation. The couple of the specific projects that we're looking at the moment, though, they're still very much in the planning, so keep that in mind. But one really exciting thing that we're looking at for the Victorian Seniors Festival next March is some kind of forum, a seminar to look at older lesbian and disabled lesbian issues, and I think this will be something that's probably a first. I can't be terribly explicit about it because we are thinking of joining in with some other organisations, and it's all very much in the planning stage at the moment, but is very exciting and definitely a first. Also, we're looking at a public forum about older lesbian and disabled lesbian health issues. And another thing that we're looking at as well is, and I hope all our viewers take note of this, we want to set up a bequest program. We have a longer term aim to fund, set up affordable accommodation for older lesbians, disabled lesbians, and we think that a bequest program is a good way to go in that regard. It's not the only thing. We're also going to be looking for donations, and we're right on the very verge of applying for our PBI status so that we can have tax deductibility for donations. So if there's any sugar mamas out there who might look kindly towards Matrix, please give us a call and keep an eye on what we're doing.
Lillian, how does one join Matrix? How do they go about joining Matrix?
Well, for those of you who have my phone number and you're over 40, which I should attain in a couple of weeks' time, but you can ring us up and we'll send you an application form. It's very cheap. It's $12 for people who are waged, and for people who are not working or on a pension, it's $6.
That's very reasonable.
Well,
very
I think
reasonable.
it is. Yeah.
So do we have to do anything else to be a member? Is there anything that we actively need to do?
No, just if you're over 40 and you just join Matrix and we'll do the rest.
And maybe even attend those wonderful functions?
Oh, well, I think that's a must.
So when's the next one?
On the 7th of February 2004 at the San Remo Ballroom, the Satin and Silk Ball.
Yeah, but you're talking about maybe doing something else for the middle of winter, maybe, or further on down the track.
Denim and leather.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there could be a few other things. You just never know. You've had a few ideas since you've walked into the comedy lounge.
Well, you know, looking around the venue here, it's marvellous, and to organise a night, a one-off special night, would be fabulous.
Yeah.
A lot of work, but
and I know Gail loves to dance, because and you could do a number on the stage, couldn't you, with Lillian? No, you do some wonderful dances together. I've seen that.
We do have a trophy where
Jane, are you interested in any other situation to do with the Matrix that you might think of, that there's something else that you see Matrix being in future time?
At the moment, there's a conference coming up. The Women's Health East are organising in I think it's the White Horse Theatre in Nunawading, and that's going to be in July 2nd, and I'll be presenting a paper there about issues that really relate to the marginalisation of older lesbians and disabled lesbians, but it's interesting too that Women's Health East are putting this on, and I'm quite keen on working with them, and have been also working with Women's Health in the South East, and also over in Footscray, Women's Health West. And also we're looking to work with some of the, down the track of course,
yes.
We're looking to work with some of the statewide women's health organisations.
I just wanted to touch briefly on the past amazing women of Matrix. Some have died recently, especially one, I believe, Thelma.
Yeah.
And all the other women. I just would like to thank you all, and those women too that are with us in spirit, to make Matrix for this present time an amazing guild, but also for future time for all those people, women out there who will be becoming older or are elderly now. We're with you, we're there for you. Isn't that so, girls?
Yes, you bet.
Thank you so much for coming here this evening.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up this evening again. We hope you enjoyed Bent TV, Hugh Weekly, and until we see each other once again next time, which is next Monday night, remember. Good evening.